had taken early retirements, accusing Musk of lying. So Musk goes in there, tries to swing his dick around, and is like, why aren't you guys doing everything I'm saying? Why aren't you guys firing everybody in your agencies? I don't understand. I told you I want to fire all these people, and you're not firing every single person that I want fired. And the heads of the agencies, including Rubio, are like, hey, dog, I didn't sign up to get lectured by an autistic, unelected billionaire. And what about those 1,500 people that you forced into early retirement? They decided to take up your offer. Somehow those don't count. Those don't count towards downsizing the agency. And so they blew up. They blew up. Imagine Elon chastising Marco Rubio in front of Trump, by the way, with all the other heads of the agencies around. You fired nobody. You fired nobody. And Rubio was like, all right, man, I've had enough of this. The transportation secretary accused Musk's team of trying to lay off air traffic controllers. Musk called it a lie and demanded names. So Sean Duffy, he's the transportation secretary, shot back that there were no names because he had stopped the firings. So again, on this one, Elon decides, oh, I'm gonna scream at this guy. I'm gonna yell at this guy. I'm gonna blow up. I'm gonna call him a liar. Understand something, guys. All these agency heads, they're trying their best to appease Trump, and in their minds, appeasing Trump means also like siding with Elon on a lot of these things. So for there to be a blow up, it has to mean that Elon is colossally out of line. And for Elon to say, that didn't happen, I don't even know what you're talking about, that didn't happen. Bro, we literally have 2 rounds of air traffic control layoffs that have been reported by the media where everybody was talking about it, everybody knew it happened, and according to Sean Duffy, he basically attempted to block it because now he's got to deal with like 9 different plane crashes of, varying levels of severity. But he's got to deal with all that. And he's like, you want me to fire more air traffic? Are you mental? What is wrong with you? And Elon, by the way, this is classic Elon Musk. Crystal's reading a biography on him right now. And her main takeaway is that this guy has never had a real relationship with any human being in his life. He has like the boss man syndrome where he feels like what I say goes. And when I tell you to do something, you do it. So he's never been close to anybody. He's never had like a warm relationship with anybody. And so here you have an example. He's trying to throw his weight around and fire like 50% of the federal government. And the heads of the agencies are like, this is literally unworkable. We can't even do this. Never mind the fact that it's illegal. And he's like, you're a liar. Why are you lying? Wait, that's not even true. What you're saying is not even true. So then we also have Secretary Doug Collins warned that Musk's cuts would harm thousands of veterans, a core Trump constituency. And then Trump chimed in and agreed we should retain the smart ones and get rid of the bad ones. So one of the things that you'll take away from this article if you read the whole thing is that Trump really is a fucking idiot, right? And it's everybody's vying for like the favor of the idiot king. That's absolutely what's happening. But Musk is an abrasive asshole. And then again, everybody in this room, they're hardcore conservative Republicans, dog. Like they're all about that, shrink the size of government, yada, yada, all that nonsense. And so then you have one of the heads of the agencies go, hey, man, we're firing massive amounts of veterans, and in many instances, literally disabled veterans. Elon did a $2 billion cut the other day of 1,000 contracts that went to disabled veterans. And so this dude's like, I don't think this is the best look, man. I mean, this is like a core Republican constituency. You're absolutely throwing them to the wolves. And again, Elon, combative, acting like he didn't do it, and these people are lying. Which, by the way, at the same time, castigating and berating people and saying, why aren't you firing more? So at the same time, he's like, I'm not firing too many people. He's like, you guys need to fire more, and I'm going to yell at you about it. So look, your takeaway, this guy is genuinely and sincerely over the top unhinged. And I'm at the point now, you got to look at all the different theories as to how this guy ended up so deranged. And I really do think that one of the things that happened is his ketamine addiction fried his brain. He's completely and utterly disconnected from reality. He contradicts himself on a regular basis. He screams and yells at people. He acts as if, the federal government works the same as Twitter. Like you could just go in there and fire 80% of the people who work for you and everything's going to be fine on the other side. Like, no, it's not. Of course it's not going to be. And again, I got to reiterate every time we talk about this. Literally all of this is completely and utterly illegal. All of it is illegal. All of the firings, they're illegal. They're unconstitutional. Every court is saying you can't do it, and they're plowing ahead anyway. And so what's interesting is, in the past, Trump took Elon's side and basically said, if anybody has a problem with Elon, they have a problem with me. He did that in a meeting with all the agency heads. What comes out of this meeting is the exact opposite, where Trump goes, all right, Elon, you're going to be in more of an advisory role, and the heads of the agencies, you get to determine what you want to do with those agencies. And I don't know if that's because Elon humiliated himself in front of everybody and Trump realized that this guy's kind of pathetic, or if it's something else, right? Or if it's all like the legal trouble that Elon is in and now Trump is in as well, that they feel like, you know, this is too much of a headache. I don't want you making these decisions. But there's certainly qualities that Elon has that Trump despises. Like, first of all, he's a fucking slob. Everybody knows that. Everybody can see that. He looks like a beluga whale. I mean, it's embarrassing. Remember that picture that came out of him? Super fucking pale, standing on a ship. Like, we don't need to get any deeper into it. You get the point. But this guy wears like a t-shirt and a goofy hat and, you know, dresses like a 19-year-old who's in his mom's basement. And Trump doesn't like that, right? So the reports are, for this meeting where this happened, Elon actually showed up in a suit and tie. And the only reason he would do that is because Trump said something to him. Trump was like, hey man, don't be coming around here looking like this. So look, it's a sign. But again, I'll reiterate this. The fact that Trump hasn't already fully broken up with Elon Musk tells me that there probably is some sort of a deal between the two of them, right? If Elon was anybody else at this late date, with all the times Elon humiliated Trump, remember the AI image of Trump sucking his toes that was up in some of the government agencies? If that was anybody else, Trump would have fired off 12 tweets, basically, verbally beheading that person and just casting them out forever from the inner circle, right? But he didn't with Elon. So the question remains, why? Why didn't he? And so there very well could be some sort of a deal. But I want to give you, this is amazing. I want to give you one other thing that happened during this meeting. Because, I mean, it truly is the case, and Sawyer Hackett says this himself. Literally the dumbest people in the world are in charge of decisions in our government right now. So that word kakistocracy has never been more relevant. A kakistocracy is basically government run by the worst people among us. So look at this. This is from the New York Times piece. Mr. Duffy, the Secretary of Transportation, said the young staff of DOJ was trying to lay off air traffic controllers. What am I supposed to do? Mr. Duffy said. I have multiple plane crashes to deal with now, and your people want me to fire air traffic controllers? Mr. Duffy said there were not any names because he had stopped them from being fired. At one point, Mr. Musk insisted that people hired under diversity, equity, and inclusion programs were working in control towers. This is all such bullshit. Mr. Duffy pushed back, and Mr. Musk did not add details, but said during the longer back and forth that Mr. Duffy had his phone number and should call him if he had any issues to raise. The exchange ended with Mr. Trump telling Mr. Duffy that he had to hire people from MIT as air traffic controllers. These air traffic controllers need to be geniuses, he said. We are so screwed. Like, this is hard. This is bad, bro. This is so bad. Like, they're having a fight about multiple rounds of layoffs of air traffic controllers as planes are plummeting out of the sky. And this is Trump jumping into the conversation. This is what he says. Yes, I know. I mean, let me tell you, I think that we should be hiring air traffic controllers from MIT. They need to be geniuses, these air traffic controllers. Oh my God. Bro, this has nothing. By the way, the elitism dripping off of this, right? Like the idea, like, obviously only people from MIT can do something like, no, air traffic control is a noble job. And it's also just a normal job in a sense, right? Like the people who are probably the best air traffic controllers were trained the best and have the most time on the job. It's experience. And then here they are, fire 2 separate rounds, fire them in 2 separate rounds immediately after giant plane crashes, right? The likes of which we haven't seen in decades in this country. Oh my God. But look, I'll say this. For the first time yet, Elon appears to be on some semblance of shaky ground here, right? The fact that he had to wear a suit, the fact that he blew up in the meeting where, you know, from the retelling of it, it really does sound like all of the agency heads, obviously they're more intelligent than Elon, that's a given, but also they were more composed, more serious, making better points, right? And so for Elon to contradict himself, flip flop like crazy, start yelling